Hello, folks. How y'all doing today? Now, a friend contacted me and he suggested that perhaps there's too much doom here and not enough sunshine. Now, that's probably true. My nature is more dour than joyous. It's just, what can I say? Ah, but be that as it may, everything requires a certain golden mean, a certain balance. Now, for those who don't know, the golden mean is essentially the idea that between any two extremes, there's a middle point that's more correct. It's not that there's an exact correct point. That's not what Aristotle and the other philosophers that use this idea really hitting on. It's that, say, between utter reckless disregard for your person and utter craven cowardice, right? There's a certain controlled courage, that allows for disciplined utilization of your skills, you see, right? Sort of, or even a controlled fear, even, you see, right? Because it's not bad to be afraid when your body's exposed to, it's bad to be a craven coward about it. That's the incorrect part, you see. And most other things in life are this way as well, including happiness, and there's a middle point, governments, uh, autocracy and anarchy. Somewhere in the middle is the better point where you have some kind of hierarchy, and then the more responsible and able, merit based, not necessarily wealth based, but merit based people promote to the level which they're fit, which they're naturally inclined. You see what I'm saying? Not really elections so much as selections and public approval of people based upon confidence in their ability to, well, lead. Frankly, to lead. I mean, I can make it even more simple. That's about as natural as it gets. Okay, so as it sits, one of the big problems with our modern society, and I know some gloom, I'm sorry. A little rain, I guess, makes the sunshine seem better, though. So, and one of the big problems is that basically political correctness has taken reality and subverted it, and all of these men who should be married, who should have uh, families at home and children that adore them, have nothing, and many of them are literally cast out. I mean, like, almost like, Adam checked out of Eden, like just tossed into the bridge, and that's not. It's not funny, and I'm not making fun of it, and it's a reality. Okay, and it's systemic because, frankly, there's simply not enough employment for them. There it is. Okay, well, and particularly not employment that will allow them to be any kind of father or husband or what Teddy Roosevelt in the New Nationalism calls a good citizen. It just isn't there. Okay, now that's a real problem that needs to be addressed at a national level. Now, these men, in the meanwhile, are there they are. Okay, there they are. Now comes the sunshine. People could go to these folks, find the ones amongst them who are not utter ruins, okay, who are not drug addicts, oh, pardon me, who still had motivation, who were willing to do the $40 a day job, drudgery and all that, okay? Okay. Give them the idea of organizing. Organizing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So instead of trying to claw their way up out of the bottom one by one by one by one, you find 10 or 20 of them. Okay? One that has good credit, get the money, rent them someplace to live. They simply live there. Do what the Mexicans do. Yeah, that's right. You heard me say it. If these invaders scum can do it in our own country, so should our own folk to fight our way back to our rightful place in the sun by God. Now, these men band together like this. They live this way. They save a lot of money doing this. They eat regimented meals, beans and rice and lots of bread and potatoes and okay, cheap food. Save money. Now, in the meantime, you find the people amongst these folks who are willing to sort of fall into more organized bands beyond this, and you form them into associations of men that are going to save up money in this way, slowly and surely, in legitimate bank accounts, collective bank accounts. These are, most banks will open them for you for a few dollars. Okay, and there can all kinds of conditions that can be set on them to keep any one person from stealing the other's money. I mean, that's part of the reason for doing this. It's also so that everyone can learn responsibility, so they can see, hey, look, everyone's made their contribution. And you get what I'm trying to say? Now, Once these people have saved up enough money, they buy derelict properties far away from PC, that is in the rural heartlands of America, and this is a particularly American thing, but in Britain it could probably be done in much the same way, though the locations would have to be specified, and I don't know enough to really, lay it out. Okay, but the idea is much the same anywhere in the world. They save, they buy, they move, they rebuild, they attempt to generate what they need to live first off of their own land. Yeah, that's right, actual farmstead homesteading. That's hard, it's difficult, and it will separate them from politically correct sodomite Babylonian society. Simply cut them right off from it. This is purposeful. This will not be a defect. TVs and these sorts of things will simply be downplayed. If need be, I would advise actually, oh, cutting them. It's garbage. All of that junk on there is unneeded. There is nothing that cannot be had from proper books. Proper books. TV and radio are unneeded, you see. And so these people will go learn. First off, we'll learn the art, the lost art of being a community, you see. And essentially, these people will form nuclei within existing communities to sort of rejuvenate the countryside. Yeah, I know that sounds arrogant in its way, but the fact is that the politically correct apathy, the mental rot, has went deep across our people, and it will require people willing to leave political correctness mentally, physically, and spiritually. We fight a battle with spiritual principalities and this and such, and yeah, correct, and that's really what it is. And so these people will work, and then eventually, my theory is that if they could get some kind of small handicrafts going, the funny thing is the exact people who hate right-wing redneck hicks love the handicraft and unique production value of stuff that they make, and so they would actually fund these folks. Yeah, yeah. Now that's basically an idea of mine, part of a large, much larger idea that's a part of it. It would take a long time to get, and frankly, it's all legit. Now that's the whole thing. It's all above board and legal, and at least in the English-speaking world, there's a concept called mutual benefit corporations, mutual benefit companies, mutual benefit societies, associations. Okay. And you need to look at your particular jurisdiction, but there are a whole list of them where I'm at, and they do different things. From pool societies to well water maintenance societies to everything you can think of. Okay, insurance, housing organization associations, the whole wing ding. Okay, and the idea is that these people would form up groups that would build these sorts of associations between themselves and the community, and thus pool all their efforts, and simply leave the fighting like rats in the flood of free market Wall Street garbage behind, and the free marketers on Wall Street can rat bite each other, while the folk in the center grow unified and strong, you see. Now, the Wall Street Journal is absolutely terrified, or the New York Times, excuse me, is absolutely terrified. The entire establishment, really, that something like this will happen, because they're already going for white extremists are more dangerous than Muslims, and this is garbage. Diversity is way more dangerous than any white people. There's a reason why you can be out in West Virginia in the middle of nowhere. You can be the most Yankee hick hating Southern person known to man, and it'd be really hard to get yourself messed up. Really hard. All right, and we all know this. But go on down to Williamsburg in Virginia, where there's a few more diversity units, and your enrichment value can go up really fast. Just takes one wrong turn down a cul-de-sac, and you'd be lucky you get out of there. You'd be like Mad Max, they suck you right back in. And we all know this. Everybody knows this. We're not buying these media stories, and again, uh, that they're pushing this because they know that some kind of idea like what I just said, that people will just say, hey, why don't we just go to Boonstick, Whiteyville, where people like us already live, and where the people there basically think like we do already, and where the people there are already more or less, on team with us, and go and work and integrate, become one with them and build strength on strength. Win win, right? Um, and really, now see that's different than people saying let's go someplace and make it better per se, which really means change it to suit yourself. No, I'm not talking about gentrification so much. I'm talking about building up, but I'm also talking about uh, respect. Do you know what I mean? Respecting the people that already live there and sort of getting up, because I am actual rural white America. I don't really have to actually move back to anywhere. I could probably go to almost any place outside of a city in America, and in 2 weeks, the basic rules make sense to me because the basic rules I grew up with, you see. And there are 50 million people like us. Now, there are about another 45 or so million descendants from people like us in the cities. If those people were to move back out to the countryside with their skills, with their engineering degrees, with their chemistry degrees, with their, you see, all the resources are out there in the rural hinterland. Lots of labor, no real presence of the system out there because they don't care. They just think of the people out in there as a bunch of drunken, drugged up hillbilly chucks. But if they were to be organized and given a rile or some sort of spirit, well, that would could change things now, couldn't it? Now you see what I'm trying to say? This is a win-win situation. This is kindred helping kindred and getting ahead to get out from underneath the GOP cucks, the left-wing commies, and the golden calf money bag bastards that are paying for the whole charade. You see? Okay, that's that's my, I guess, sunshine, sunshine. All right, y'all, take care now.